You're listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Welcome, listeners, to another episode of All Good Things, a Star Trek Universe podcast here on BQN and the Fandom Podcast Network. I'm your host, Mark. With me today is the most lovely co-host in all of the interwebs, Miss Amy Nelson.
Oh, hi, Mark. What a wonderful welcome. How you doing?
I am doing awesome. It's a beautiful day here in New England. Not really hot, but it's okay. We get, the sun is out. It's a beautiful day, a nice cool breeze. I don't know. It's perfect weather for a hike.
Oh my goodness, that does sound wonderful. We are sweltering here in Las Vegas.
Of course.
We've been in the triple digits now for quite a while. And I just wanted to wish all the fathers out there a happy Father's Day. It is Father's Day on the day that we are recording. So just wanted to throw that out there.
And the doggy dads, you count too. Just saying.
Absolutely. It was interesting. I was, in the store and there was people talking and they're like, Father's Day isn't anything compared to Mother's Day. Everything's always about the mothers. And I'm like, that's interesting. The perception that people have.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just leave it at that.
Well, Amy, what are you drinking today?
Well,
sorry, folks. I'm used to Cinema Z.
Yeah.
What do you got?
It's so early. I am still on my coffee with hazelnut creamer, my favorite.
Ooh, yeah.
What you got going? You're midday. You could be throwing back some.
I really could be. Actually, last night, everybody in my neighborhood drinks gin and tonic. Everybody. So Andy and I have been stocking up on the G&Ts lately. And I did have one last night. It was really good. But today I have regular coffee, but I did put some Starbucks branded hot cocoa in there. It's not really special. It's just regular hot cocoa. But it's got Starbucks brand. It was a gift from a friend of mine. But I like to put a little cocoa in my hot coffee.
Very nice.
Yes.
Very good.
Well, Amy, now it's time for All Good World.
From Las Vegas to Boston, USA to Canada and South America, from the United Kingdom to South Africa, from Russia to Australia, the South Pacific and beyond. This is All Good World.
Well, listeners, if you're out of the loop, All Good World is a segment we did for a long time when I was hosting, and I'm hosting again, so I'm bringing it back. Each episode, we highlight a different location around the world where this lovely podcast has reached. And today, I would love to give a shout out to all of our lovely listeners in the country of Belgium. Now, I like to highlight some fun facts about the country, and what's more fun than, the cuisine of Belgium. So Belgium is famous for beer, chocolate, waffles, and I didn't know this, but French fries. So the national dishes are steak and fries and mussels and fries. Now, that does sound very French to me. Interesting enough. Anyway.
Yeah.
Many highly ranked Belgian restaurants can be found on the most influential restaurant guides, such as the Michelin Guide. One of the many beers with the highest prestige is that of the Trappist monks. Traditionally, it is an ale that each of the abbeys' beer is served in its own glass. So the forms and the heights in the widths of the glass are different. And there are only 11 breweries, 6 of them are Belgian, that are allowed to brew Trappist beer. So I did not know that.
Okay. So that's like champagne. You can only call it champagne if the grapes are from the Champagne region.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. Wow. Okay. I like that. What's different? I mean, are all waffles just considered from Belgium? Because now, like, there's Belgian waffles and just regular waffles.
See, when I think of Belgian waffles, I think that there's fruit on top with like whipped cream.
Oh, when I think of Belgian waffles, it's the really deep pockets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like regular, like Eggo waffles or the regular where they're just small and not as deep.
Oh.
That's what I call a regular waffle. And then for me, a Belgian waffle is the one with the deep and bigger pockets.
So when I went to Amsterdam, we got waffles and they were like super thin. So, and they were
Huh.
huge. It was like a pancake, but it was a waffle. Anyway, I don't know. So I would love for our Belgian listeners that are out there to reach out to us. We're on Facebook at BQA Collective, and just let us know why Belgian waffles are Belgian.
And yeah, set us straight because we don't know.
We have no idea why they're Belgian waffles. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Amy, if you want to take us into the next chapter here, what are we going to be talking about this week?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's get to genetic engineering. This is going to be part 4 of this series, and we are going to cover Voyager, the fight. Now, you guys, I did not remember that Chakotay is genetically modified. I I guess we don't say that about humans, genetically engineered, but yeah, modified. And now with what we know with Strange New Worlds and Prodigy, like that's a big no-no. We even knew that in Deep Space Nine with Bashir, but this is just glossed over completely. So, oh my gosh, I'm getting ahead of myself. So let's just quickly, this is the one with Chakotay, and he's the boxer, if you guys remember. But Voyager gets trapped in this place called chaotic space. And sort of this Bermuda Triangle. And sensors are useless. And a straight line, they think they're going in a straight line, but then they come back to a buoy. So it's pretty cool. They're just running in circles. So, in an attempt to relay Voyager that they are not welcome, the inhabitants of this chaotic space activate a genetic defect. We'll call it a defect. There's my air quotes. In Commander Chakotay, who interprets the warnings and instructions in the form of hallucinations, including his grandfather and his boxing training at Starfleet Academy. So let's talk about the fight. Mark, okay, first of all, I'm just being upfront. I've never seen this episode before. I never have heard about it. This is an anomaly. So I'm thinking people don't claim this to be a great episode.
No, this is actually in the list of top 10 worst episodes of Voyager ever. In the must not watch list for many people. I've seen every episode of Voyager, but I definitely remember sleeping through this episode many times, like having it on and like, okay, and just waking up. Oh, the episode's over. That's how much I love it. But it's funny you're pointing out the genetic defect sort of engineering thing. Now, because I've multiple times, even I think on this watch, passed out, I missed that. What is genetically engineered? How is he engineered? Who engineered him?
Yeah, so his parents, well, because his grandfather, that's what he was afraid of, went crazy.
Mhm.
And he kept saying all grandfather had to do was get a hypo spray once a day, and it would have taken care of his hallucinations and stuff. Because so his parents had Chakotay, his part of his DNA was removed. That is this defect of hallucinations and going crazy. So it's like the going crazy gene they were able to remove. Now, that's what the chaotic beings, or what do we call them? Yeah, the chaotic space aliens.
The bride of the Chaotica.
So they activated that gene or whatever, and that's so yeah,
Okay.
it's connecting his, it's a bunch of medical stuff in there.
Okay. Okay. Well,
But yeah, so it literally, he was genetically modified, and it's just glossed over that it's like, oh, well, we didn't want him to be mad like his grandfather. So this really is showing that there is a spectrum of what is acceptable and allowed up to what is not. So where is that line? Like, look at Una.
mm. Well, I think it's because she had like enhancements and things, whereas, and the same with Bashir, but with Chakotay, he just had something that could have been problematic deleted.
So is deletion okay and adding not? Like, where's this line that
That seems to be the case with Star Trek.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Talk amongst yourself.
Yeah. So I think he's the last of our crew that we know is genetically modified
Thus far.
thus far.
To be continued.
Yeah. But I mean, he's lurking in the shadows. He's, when you think of genetically modified, like I first think of Doll in Prodigy,
Yeah.
Una,
Mhm.
obviously, but these are, current day. And then we have Bashir.
We haven't done a doll episode, so maybe down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. In this episode, Chakotay is haunted by flashbacks of boxing in the academy and the life lessons he learned through that experience. Now, if you were trapped in chaotic space and seeing flashbacks, what time or place in your life would most likely pop up and why? Amy?
Wow. What a question. You just threw that on me. Okay. It's funny because I almost went back to my days at university, but I'm wondering if that's just because, Chakotay went back to
Mhm.
Starfleet Academy. But I mean, that was definitely a time in my life where I was making decisions solely for myself. I was just divorced. I decided to, get my education in teaching. So, like, I made that major life decision. There were a lot of life decisions going on at that time. So, I almost feel like I would go flashback to that time of my life. What?
But who would be like somebody that you would
Oh,
see that would give you like lessons, like Boothby? Who would be your Boothby?
Okay, I'm gonna come back to that. You tell me, where would you be flashing back to? What time in your life?
So what came to my mind was probably like actually high school, but like my art teacher. I was taking like college level art classes in school. Um, and my art teacher always pushed me to sort of go outside my comfort zone, with my art. So I would be, well, for example, I'd be sketching something, and the lines that I was putting on the paper were way too light, and he would actually like keep telling me, he'd be like, "No, make it darker, make it darker." And so sometimes he would come over and he would actually push my hand down and like make it dark, and he's like, "Look, you're not going to mess it up. It's okay. Just make it darker." you know
Mm.
and then we also the art department, we did all of the sets for the plays and stuff. And So he ended up teaching me how to, like, use a power drill and, use a saw and things like that a lot of people would learn usually in shop class, but I would learn in art class. But yeah, it was another example of him just sort of pushing me outside of my comfort zone. So I think that it would probably be, high school, and probably be my high school art teacher.
Okay, I've had time to think. And I love that you highlighted a teacher. It really is one of my favorite things to hear people fondly reminisce about an influential person and that it's a teacher. I just love that. So, yes, as you were talking, I know this may sound really weird. But because my life I sort of is fractured into two parts, of one being a member of the church and now one part of my life that I am not. Like when I remember those times, it's always fuddled with the church. And since those councils, the people giving counsel in the church, I no longer respect, like I'm not going to flash back to that because that's not going to help me now in my life, if that makes any sense. So I am going to say the first person who I fell in love with, his name is Tony, an ex-boyfriend. But he was very instrumental in helping me think a different way through different lenses with a different perspective. And he really opened my eyes in a lot of ways. And so I feel that I would see him in a flashback and that I would take his counsel and like try and automatically trust. And I know that seems weird because like, man, losing him and that breakup, like I did not think I was going to recover. I mean, that was, when you fall in love, you're in love. But I think that's who I would see in a flashback.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, one of the things that stuck out to me while I was watching this was some similarities to an actual fan favorite TNG episode. So, similar to TNG's Darmok, where Picard must learn to communicate with the Temerians who speak in metaphors, Chakotay in this episode is the only person on Voyager capable of communicating with the chaotic space aliens who use memories to communicate with him. Now, if you were dropped into a different culture and you needed to problem solve away at home, what different forms of communication would you utilize?
I would automatically jump to math, numbers, because I think every sentient counts things. I think that would be a commonality that I could pull on.
I'm just trying to think how that would help you navigate out of Beijing. Like if you couldn't find a cab.
Well, you got to start with communicating. So I would build my communication of I'm 500 kilometers away. I mean, I don't know. I need to get there.
And maybe some hand gestures would come into play, a little charades.
Yeah. So I'd be like, well, 500 kilometers is how many dollars, start there.
Gotcha.
What about you?
Well, yeah, for sure, like hand gestures. Now, I don't know sign language, so I would not be able to do sign language, which would come in handy because I think isn't sign language sort of international? Like sign language is used pretty much the same way in most countries.
Now there's different kinds because there's American Sign Language, which is different than others.
Oh,
I'm not that well versed. My mother had a renter who was actually deaf and was doing an internship because he wanted to be a math teacher at the deaf school that was right behind our house.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah. So my mom, at the age of 50, 55, learned sign language. So it's
Very
never too
cool.
late.
Yeah. So yeah, I would probably try like gestures like charades. I would also uh pictures, utilizing pictures,
Mm.
even drawing things like drawing a car, things like that. I think that would come in handy for me because I'm more of a visual person. Uh yeah.
Another way to communicate and has been documented and researched are facial expressions to show emotion that are standard across
Mm,
multicultures. So everyone's happy is the same type of look. So you could, in addition to what you're saying, like the sign language and like, I'm scared. And, hopefully they will take pity. Oh, please help me,
yeah.
begging.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Amy just did a really cute begging gesture with her hands. Anyway, so yeah, that's yeah, international, so, like pleading for help kind of a thing. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. Can you imagine? Yeah, just being like, especially like I watched The Amazing Race with Andy,
Mm.
and The Amazing Race goes obviously all over the world, and sometimes people like I haven't. Oh, jeez. I feel so bad for these people. They keep all of their money and stuff, and their passports and whatever, in a little like fanny pack. And I've seen it where they left the fanny pack like in a cab,
Oh, yeah.
and then they're trying to go places, and they've got no money. They can't communicate with the locals. Like they're desperately searching for somebody with English, And
Hmm.
yeah, that's that is scary. That is scary.
And imagine if Voyager's crew, and some people do, come into a strange situation, fumble in there, Voyager just stumbled into this chaotic space, but
Mhm.
here's this stranger. Imagine coming in and being all, what are you doing to me? Get me out. And like this gruffness and attacking, and we're going to kill you. Like, that philosophy, I just seems so strange to me.
Mm,
It's like, yeah, you're the one invading their space. They didn't come to you. So it's like, don't be all gruff. And I'm glad that they didn't go, we need to fire phasers and da da da, and try and like kill these aliens.
mm,
Like, but that is a choice that some people make when they are in unfamiliar. I mean, how many times do you hear about or see, terrible tourists? And unfortunately, a lot of them happen to be American tourists that
mhm.
become aggressive. And it's like, dude, you're in their country.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's that sort of fight or flight mentality. So these people are
Mhm.
freaked out, and then they're getting aggressive, getting angry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it is scary when you can't communicate.
Well, Amy, this episode landed in genetic engineering for God knows what reason. We were in the group chat. We were all discussing like why and what should this be in. Now, you brought up a good point at the beginning where Chakotay. Uh, I had to get one in. Had that defect that was removed,
Mhm.
supposedly, and that is why it's part of the genetic engineering series. But what other series would this work in, and what do you think it might work better in?
So I was almost feeling scared sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I could put this in our fear factor because
Mm-hmm.
Chakotay being crazy is a little scary, and you don't know what is going on in this episode, which as a watcher, as a viewer, that's scary. So I I could possibly see it in our Fear Factor series. Now, what about you, Mark? Is there any other series you could see this in?
That was mine as well. I was like,
Really?
Fear Factor. I was getting those vibes from this as
Yeah.
well. Now, I also got vibes from another TNG episode. It's funny, like there was TNG came up a lot during this watch. Now, I love TNG, and they barely have any bad episodes, except for Code of Honor. But aside from that, but and this is a real stinker for Voyager. But what I was thinking is that one episode that I love where Riker is hallucinating and he doesn't know if he's going crazy, and he's in the play that Beverly's putting on. Now
Frame
that
of
happens,
Mind.
Frame of Mind happens to be one of my favorite TNG episodes. I've seen it so many times. And this was giving off vibes of that, but like it's like if you ordered Frame of Mind from Wish. What you get.
Oh my gosh, I love that reference. Oh.
So is that Frame of Mind? That would be in the Fear Factor, right? You think? I don't think we've covered it yet, have we? Maybe.
I know we've talked a lot about it. Well,
who knows?
maybe not. Who knows?
Well, Amy, I think this brings us. This is a good place to bring us to assimilations and regenerations. So, right off the top, I have to say a regeneration for me was the plot. Now, I kind of like it when they jump us into the action for Trek. It's cool. It's like, okay, what's happening? What's going on? You know, whatever. And they can do that, especially it's an hour of television that resets at the end. So, in order to get it rolling, they just jumped right into the action with this one. That's cool for me, but it never really revealed itself to have a linear plot. It just kept bouncing around, and I'm like trying to figure, okay, what is happening here? And I think that's where it lost a lot of people. And no, in my opinion, that it is so convoluted and confusing.
Yeah,
What are your thoughts?
I agree with you completely. I did listen to the Delta Flyers podcast specifically for this episode this morning as I was, waking up, and it was a very confusing plot. And Robbie Duncan McNeil kept saying, just follow the hair. And it's funny because that's my regeneration. What in the heck is going on with Chakotay's hair? And it was this combed forward look while he was hallucinating, and then it's his normal when he's like regular Commander Chakotay. And I thought that was funny, like just follow the hair. If the hair's all weird looking, he's hallucinating. But I didn't care for his disheveled. Again, you're right. It reminded me of Riker's frame of mind when he was crazy. He had that crazy hair.
Sure. But I think he had better crazy hair.
Well, yeah, it's Riker.
It's Riker.
Yeah. Okay, and another odd one. I just didn't buy the whole fact that Neelix was massaging Chakotay's back. That was awkward for me. I don't know why, but he was too like squishy. I don't know. It just didn't seem like let's get ready for a fight, It was too squishy of a massage. I know it's stupid. It's stupid point for me to even talk about.
Yeah, I would. I regenerate every scene that you have Neelix in. Anyway, I also am going to regenerate the fact that it's a Chakotay-centric episode. Sorry, Chakotay, but one of the least interesting characters on Voyager that they decided to highlight in this episode. And it was a confusing episode. So it wasn't even one that we got really to know much more about Chakotay, except for he had a boxing history and it was with Boothby. And that's kind of cool, but I don't know. Yeah, they could have done him better in the whole series. They could have done Chakotay better.
Yeah, I agree. And one thing that really needed to be better was we've been in Chakotay's quarters before, yet all of a sudden now his place has this like upholstered furniture with a Native American, what do we call that?
Tapestry.
Yes, tapestry on the chairs and his pillow. And it's like they seem to draw upon his cultural background only when it's convenient. And I got thinking about it where it's like, why do we get to see this now? Did it give us anything for the story? No. We saw his grandfather. So that was the history that we needed. His culture wasn't like, this is about family history. I mean, yes, culture's in with it, but it's like, did we need to bring in pillows and an upholstered chair to get that point across? No, we got that point across because it's his grandfather. You know, it just was too convenient. And then I wanted to ask you, why is it that only some characters get to have interesting personal quarters? Like Saru.
Well,
Right?
I mean, bridge crew, right? The bridge crew does.
Okay. What was interesting about Troy's quarters? Absolutely nothing. There was nothing interesting about Beverly's quarters. Like,
Beverly
Worf
had
had a
flowers.
few artifacts, you know. But I'm saying, you know, like Saru, his quarters were completely transformed. Like, why is it only some characters get this?
Data's. Yeah.
A few of his paintings, yeah.
Well, he also has the most unique quarters because this
Right.
doesn't have windows, right?
Yeah, and he's got a huge desk but
Yeah.
his choice. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Data's quarters is like essentially like where they store the Roomba.
Yes.
Like it's just a maintenance closet.
That's funny.
All right. Something I want to assimilate about this episode. So I loved that they introduced this sort of concept of a chaotic space. I thought that was kind of cool. And then using Seven of Nine to explain it. Now, Seven of Nine, I felt like it was a great use of her character to sort of take on what Neelix was in the first few seasons, as far as like the ambassador for, you know, that quadrant, and like explaining like who these various aliens were and whatever. But he couldn't do that forever because he hasn't gone that far into space, right? And so bringing in Seven of Nine with all their Borg knowledge allowed them to go and like, okay, the Borg's seen this before and blah, 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 and sort of propel that whole navigator plot line on. So it was great that they used her to sort of explain it. And astrometrics, we got to see more in Voyager than in any other series. And it was such a cool, I guess, way to utilize her character. So thumbs up for that one.
Yeah. You know, I would like to assimilate seeing Boothby again. I really do enjoy seeing him, you know, in the TNG episodes, especially his connection with Picard. So to see him with Chakotay is just sort of like he's the constant at Starfleet Academy, and we're getting that, you know, retold to us again. So was he helping Chakotay, or was that just his imagination?
I feel like he probably was. Like, besides groundskeeping, he taught boxing. Why not?
Yeah, so I don't know, is that a factual thing? Do we know? I wonder if
Are you
they
gonna
can say
memory
that.
alpha it?
I am, because I'm curious. I mean, it would make sense because Chakotay like really does love to box, right? Because at the end of the episode, he's telling Janeway he's going to do some training, boxing. Well, I don't really care, but yeah, I'm not gonna look.
Moving on.
No, okay, but what else was I gonna say about that? Oh, One thing I definitely found super interesting was the doctor in the hallucination, where he's explaining, well, if you do the uppercut, then this is what's going to happen physiologically to the brain. And, you know, that was very passionately told. Robert Picardo did a great job of like hamming it up, but yet these are the real consequences and concussions and problems that can happen if you continue to fight. And I love that we're getting that. I mean, if in case people didn't know, it's not safe to be a boxer.
Well, it's safer, in the 24th century or whenever it takes place.
I guess.
Okay, any more assimilations?
Nope, that'll do it for me.
Okay, moving on to trivia. All right, Chakotay's hallucinations feature Ray Walston as Boothby, the Starfleet Academy head groundskeeper, as Chakotay's boxing trainer. Boothby was previously introduced in the Star Trek franchise on Star Trek The Next Generation. See the episode The First Duty.
Now, Carlos Palomino is featured as our alien boxer and also served as the boxing consultant. So I was, again, listening to the Delta Flyers, and Carlos Palomino is like a real boxer. He came from Mexico, moved up to LA, and he has won competitions. I know that's not what you call them. Matches. I don't know. Boxing rounds. He's won. He's been number one boxer. Woo! So that's pretty cool.
Go sports.
Yay. Oh, boxing. I can't watch it. I don't enjoy it. I don't understand it. I'm with the doctor on this. Why would anyone box?
Well, at least for the WWE, they sort of will wrestle each other.
Yes, that's good. I'm fine with, I mean, I don't enjoy it, but that's a show. That's a Cirque du Soleil show in my mind.
They're all oiled up and
yeah.
All right, for moving on. For this episode, Chakotay has his new hairstyle similar to the one of evil Chakotay in hologram in the episode Living Witness, and that's from 1998. So, yes, evidently they brought it back here, but it was just weird. So it's like it's used to represent alternate universe or evil Chakotay. So here's this hairstyle coming back.
Mm-hmm. So the model used for the chaotic space Hulk was later reused as both an unidentified craft at a Ladosian spaceport in Natural Law and as a Romulan drone ship in 3 episodes of Star Trek Enterprise.
Very interesting. Okay.
Okay.
Final thoughts. I want to talk about some of the previously covered series in this series. Previously covered episodes in this series. The original series, Space Seed, Deep Space Nine's Statistical Probabilities, DS9's Dr. Bashir, I presume, Strange New Worlds, Ghosts of Illyria, and Voyager, The Fight. So, which one of these episodes covered the genetic engineering series the best, in your opinion?
Well, let me start with my final thoughts of The Fight. Seeing as I've never seen it before, and now I have, and learning and talking about it more, I still feel this is not a good episode. Glad to have seen it. Part, adds to the context and backstory of Chakotay. Again, not my favorite. But Yeah. Now, who did it better? That's interesting. I definitely would say the fight did not cover genetic engineering at all. They just glossed over it. They just made it seem like Chakotay's changing his DNA was acceptable, that there was nothing wrong when we knew that there was from Deep Space Nine. So we can't give it to the fight. My favorite of them is the Deep Space Nine statistical probability. I love the one with our little mutants. I think it shows the best and the most genetic engineering, most variety. Because like Dr. Bashir, that's one character, Space Seed, and I would like to give it to Space Seed. Is just the one who started it all with Khan. But no, I'm going statistical probabilities. It's still just my favorite and shows the most variety. Mark, your final thoughts and who's done it the best so far?
I am so glad we covered Voyager's The Fight today, because that means we will never have to talk about it again.
Right.
Yeah, we're done with it. Great. Not really my favorite. I mean, it is what it is. There are worse episodes out there, but this one's not. Yeah, I would put it on again if I wanted to fall asleep, because yeah, that's how I feel about it. As far as who did genetic engineering best, I'm kind of with you with statistical probabilities. For the variety reasons. It has the most examples of it for sure. Deep Space Nine's Dr. Bashir, I presume, also looked at it from a different angle, being the consequences of it. It's in relation especially to Starfleet, in relation to the reasons why it happens. So they did a deep dive as far as like the pros and cons and the consequences, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like as far as like watchability and like my favorite, like I don't know, Strange New Worlds Ghosts of Valyria is just a fun examination of that topic, and Strange New Worlds it's such a fun watch whenever I get a chance to dive in. So if I was rewatching purposely to watch for genetic engineering, I'd probably go Ghosts of Valyria, just because Strange New Worlds is my go-to. But the winner has to be Deep Space Nine statistical probabilities. I'll go with you. Yeah.
Nice. Very good. What shows are on BQN, you ask? Well, here's a rundown of some podcasts you might be interested in. All Good Things, a Star Trek Universe podcast covering all of Trek, hosted by Amy, Mark, Christos, Kelvin, and Kristen. Whether you've got Xbox or Nintendo, check out Bargain Bin Gamer, a YouTube show hosted by Davey, a self-proclaimed gamer who specializes in reviewing and showcasing affordable video games. 2 episodes enter the arena, 1 comes out victorious. Join hosts Joe and Kevin and a guest as they debate which should win the Batleth battle. Grab your popcorn as you listen to Cinema Z, a film discussion and review podcast showcasing films you probably missed, but should definitely check out. Hosted by Mark and Matt. Don your apron for The Food Replicator, where Matthew eats and drinks his way through the Star Trek cocktail and 3 cookbooks. Beam Aboard Galaxy Class, a Star Trek Next Generation podcast covering all of TNG, hosted by Steven. In order to not repeat it, listen to History with the Zalagis, a snippet of historical events from around the world, hosted by Chrissy and Jason. For the newest Trek coverage, check out Infinite Diversity, hosted by Chrissy and Thad. Curl up with a good book and delve into Beta Canon with Peter, host of the online Trek Book Club on Twitter, and his new companion, Trek Book Club podcast. Test your Trek knowledge with Treksperts Quiz, a Star Trek quiz show hosted and written by Davey. Whether you're a member of Starfleet Federation or Planetary Union, go check out Union Federation, covering current Star Trek and the Orville, which we all know is really a Trek show, hosted by Kyle, Kevin, Amy, and Haley. Head over to YouTube and watch The View Screen live on Sundays, your Trek-inspired talk show hosted by Kelvin and Amy, with Season 2 starting in September for a 10-week run. Spill the tea with Christos while he discusses current Trek news and events and explores the world of fandom via guest interviews, all with a LGBTQIA+ perspective on what's the tea about. And for our Patreon members, we have the Hive Mind with monthly script readings. Let's Fly, a Discovery reaction show. It's Green, a cornucopia of topics. Amy's Math Moments, a quick look at math moments in Star Trek. We know you have a choice of podcasts to choose from, and we thank you for listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Well, listeners, if you're still with us after all of that,
Stop.
Woo! Amy, what are we going to be talking about next week?
Well, listeners, in case you did not know, Prodigy, for most of the planet Earth, Netflix, get your act together, will be getting Star Trek Prodigy released July. So we are going to, in preparation, do a recap of season 1, talk about, our favorites, assimilation, regenerations, and all the good stuff to get us in the mode to watch season 2 of Prodigy, which is dropping all at once.
So excited. We get more of the Doctor. Woohoo!
Yes. And more Chakotay.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Sure do. All right. Well, we would love to hear what you thought of today's episode and hope you'll join our Facebook group, the BQN Collective, or on our Discord server to continue the discussion there. You can also reach us at All Good Pod on Twitter and Blue Sky. Please follow the network on Twitter, Blue Sky, and Instagram at BQN Podcasts. We've also partnered with our friends at the Fandom Podcast Network, where you can find us by searching their master feed. Links can be found in the show notes. So, Amy, where can people find you when you do not have fingers coated in lotion, preparing to give Chipotle a nice back rub?
Oh, I think I just threw up a little. That's the grossest part. You have to highlight my regeneration. Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome.
This is why you need good friends, listeners, to make you laugh. Well, listen, when I'm not doing that, which is all the time, I will not be doing that. You can find me here on the network, where I'm co-hosting with Union Federation, and I am in our Discord, which I'm really enjoying, and our Facebook group, BQN Collective. Now, Mark, where can people find you when you're not hallucinating? Like, really, when and where can we find you? Because you do that a lot. I think we've lost him. He's hallucinating right now.
What?
Mark,
Huh?
Mark, can you hear me? Let's get out of this chaotic space.
Is that Amy? I'm following your voice.
Come to the light.
There's two lights. They're orbiting a thing in the space, in the clouds. What?
Oh, goodness.
What was that from TNG? What was it? What did Deanna say over and over again?
2 lights and 1 moon or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, when I'm not doing that, you can find me in the BQN Collective Facebook page. You can find me, well, on Cinema Z, the podcast I host here on the network with my good friend Matt, and we talk about some of our favorite films. Yeah, so listen to that. And as far as the rest of the internet, well, I haven't had a lot of time for the internet lately. I've been busy with my house stuff, so check out those places.
Well, if you'd like to help us keep all of our shows coming to you each week, you can become a patron of the network on Patreon. For just $1 a month, you can join a Let's Fly reaction show, script readings, and enjoy our special patron-only shows of It's Green and Amy's Math Moments. Visit patreon.com/BQN to get all the details and watch your messages.
So there are a lot of ways to support this show besides being a patron of the network. So many ways you can support us is by sharing the show, liking the show on social media, talking about it with your friends, or hitting that subscribe button on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcast, and leaving us a star rating and a review, because that really does help others find the show.
At this time, we would like to thank our very own associate producers, Mahendran Radhakrishnan and Jenna Seastrom. A special thanks to Graham Kelly for our opening and closing music, and the one and only Mark White for our artwork each and every week.
Oh, that's me! Just have my name on the radio.
Thank you all for listening.
We hope you'll join us as we search out
all good things. Akuche Moya, listeners. Though we are far from the bones of our ancestors, we're... Oh, God, I'm done with this shit.
Oh, that was so good.
We've covered... We're on... This is 163, Amy. Jeez,
Yeah.
We're eking our way to 200 episodes.
Oh, my goodness. I know. That's exciting.
That is, but it's also confusing. I was going back and looking at, well, all of the other genetic engineering episodes. And I was like, I had to keep scrolling. I'm like, okay, where?
Yeah.
And I think this is part 4, but I literally have no idea. So listeners, if we've done more or less, let us know, because I could only find 4 or 3.
It's part 5.
Then where's the other one? Where's the 4th one?
Let me. What is this called? What? Genetic engineering. Okay. Yeah. See, we have done Prodigy.
Oh.
Masquerade. See, I knew we talked about it with Dahl when they went to the genetic lady and he got changed because he wanted to be better.
Let's see. Okay.
It was episode 172. Oh wait, we're gonna cover it next.
So have we only done 4?
So no, Voyage. Okay, the fight is 5. Ghosts of Illyria was episode 123, and that's Strange New Worlds. That's part 3.
Oops.
So I went to our AGT production tracker, and then on the series, I sorted it by series name, and then they all go in order.
Ah, perfect.
So yeah, Spacey, Dr. Bashir, Ghosts of Illyria, Statistical Probabilities, and now the fight. And the next one we will do in August is Masquerade Prodigy.
Okay.